going to play Blueprints for a couple of reasons. First of all, I basically I got off on the wrong side of the bed here, probably sleep deprived. Basically wrote off the entire day, and that turns out to have been a great decision because I've enjoyed most of my day, and I'm sure there we go. Doggo Bomb. Again, a dog that is also a documentary that is a bomb. Doggo set us up the bomb. That's been a great decision, and to round out the day before I go to sleep, I'm going to play a little Blueprints. Blueprints also, it's an interesting game. It's a very interesting game, no doubt. But can we up this resolution? Heck yeah, we can up this resolution. It's an interesting game, but you can make incremental progress without understanding things. Wow, that logo is very pixelated on the 1440p screen. This text crisply rendered. This JPEG? Nah. You can. I don't understand my notes. I just looked at my notes, which I meticulously made. There's a bunch of... I felt... Before I looked at them, I thought, I understand everything. I remember the plot of Blueprints, and now that I look at them, I'm like, who is this? But I'm sure I can, get to some additional rooms or something. I also, yeah, I'm not really trying to, do Blueprints fast. I think that has already... I'm not gonna get the, win Blueprints in one day achievement. That has already flown the coop. I'm excited to play it on this new computer. It's not reaching 165 FPS at max resolution, but it's probably going to be better than just, dropping frames all the time. I think the right strategy is often to leave this room and go somewhere else. Man, there is chromatic aberration, and now that I'm playing the game again, I couldn't quite tell you why. Yeah, okay. So you get all the rooms, you can do this. Yeah, huh. Yeah, huh. Yep. Dare mode, curse mode, right? I don't think I'm gonna get most of this stuff. I don't even remember what most of the rooms do, but I'm gonna go find that Blueprints. I guess technically I already found the Blueprints. Man, it's a drag to get back into this. I do have all my notes. I also watched Ludwig, the television show, recently. 6-episode season. It's a good show. It has obvious weaknesses that it doesn't overcome because it's also like a police procedural, and some of the emotional beats or just the mysteries are kind of obvious. But it's a good show, and it really reminded me of Blueprints. Okay, so yeah, I beat the game and I became Mount Holly owner and baron. I unlocked the gift shop. I suspect there's still more fortune telling room stuff for me to do. I'm very keyed into puzzles, and I'm like, is there a puzzle in this message? But probably not. I'm the Baron of Reddington. Guess I'll make a note of this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, there's so much here. It's so good. I was thinking like there's no problem for me to come back into this game. The only problem is like in my mind where I'm like I don't want to remember all that stuff, but like if I'm willing to remember all the stuff, then it's fine. So I might as well play it. But now that I'm here, I'm like I don't want to remember all this stuff. And that's just the way of life. This is true. The Baron, yep. They make Barons like all that. Oh. Hold on. Let's just click. You can't, like, click the parts to go back and forth. Right, I made a note of this. Don't know what that means. Let's play the game a little, shall we? Den, I should think. Pick up a gem. Locksmith is pretty good, I think. Might run out of steps. What is special key? I forget. No. I think it gives you like some themed key that you can use for some themed room. Does this game have a good story? You beat it already, right? From Corpus C. Yes, I've beat it. The game continues on beyond the ending that you can achieve, and I like the story. It's not much of a grand narrative story, but it's full of intrigue. You know, you keep discovering things, and you keep thinking, "Oh, what's that about?" If you like mystery stories, you'll like it. Probably. I could get the workshop. That's occasionally intriguing if you find the right items. I could also get the hallway, which would give me a key, which is pretty good at this stage. Okay, so there was something about like red notes and blue notes. Blue memos are true, but red memos are lies unless written by hand. Yeah. I guess I should, like, trigger the parlor. I am interested in continuing to play the parlor games. Because at some point, the parlor games become, like, more difficult, and people keep telling me about them. Man, now I'm locked in. Gonna have to play this game. It's all gonna come back to me. Oh yeah, there's all this character stuff. If I have any understanding of the game, it seems a bit like the old crazy Winchester lady constantly building onto her house. Says Corpus C. You know, that's an I know what you're talking about. I read the Wikipedia page on that. And I'm led to believe from that Wikipedia page, which is like primarily sourced from somebody's master's thesis and a couple of things like that, that people think that lady was way crazier than she was. And she was just kind of like a normal rich person who also wanted to employ the builders, that she like, you know, she didn't want to see them be destitute. And then there was like an earthquake which destroyed parts of the house that made it make sense. And so like if you go there, you're like, why does this stairway not go to anything? That's crazy. Was it ghosts? But it actually is, it just makes sense for normal reasons. But yeah, it is quite like that, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the inspiration for this game. And it is nice to go into a nice fancy house. For like a year, I would walk around in a nice environments and go like, "Oh, it's like the blueprints in here." I don't think the text of this game ever establishes why the rooms move around like this. Like, people in the game know that the rooms do that, but they don't ever say why. You'd read she was doing it to appease the spirits of all the people her family's guns had killed. Yeah, that's a thing. It was, the site was taken over by a private company that then led tours around this crazy old house, and they would just like make up stories about how she believed in ghosts. And people who knew her was like, she didn't believe in ghosts. It's a shame that you're trying to spice up the story like that. You know, so far there are no ghosts in this game. Dine at your estate with the Oldhams. I wonder if I've made a note of the Oldhams anywhere. I don't think they've shown up again. May the 2nd, M. Lowry and wife dining with the Oldhams. They might show up again. I'll make a note in my real physical notes that a different room tells you to have. Although, of course, I have them on the computer, which is nice because I can control F. Yeah. Also, no guns. No guns in this game, as far as I remember. Not even a gun on the mantelpiece, which you have to fire before the 3rd act. So it's seen in decent society. Yeah. This is the writing in this game is nice, you know? It's good flavor. Rather singular. It's a confounding game. Yes. Darn, how un-American. That could apply to anything, but I agree. Yes. This painting is a little bit like a video game picture, you know? Which I guess makes sense because we're in a video game, but yeah, I wouldn't have made that choice if I had infinite freehand. I assume they didn't. It's interesting that, wait. No, okay, that's not interesting at all. This is boarded up because it's facing the other room. Here, puzzle times. There are 2 statements on this box. They are both false. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So there are 2 statements on this box. So the they are both false one has to be false. So this is just a dead end. That doesn't give us anything. We know that the first one is true and the second one is false. 2 statements on this box. The gems are in a box with no true statements. Okay, the first one is true. The second one, questionable. There are 2 statements on this box. This one is false. Let's check the rules. I don't know what happens. Only true statements. Only false statements. Okay, right. So, this is false. This is, you know, falsy in combination. So this one must be true. Totally. Did you hear John's critiques of this game? Let's see. I don't think I did. I think I actually learned of this game by watching John watch the trailers that were in, like, the Game Awards of the relevant year or something, which is funny, and this one stood out to me. And so I decided to not watch Jonathan Blow play this game, or anybody play this game, because I wanted to play it without spoilers. I think there are certainly things you could critique here, although, you know, I would be interested in knowing what his critiques were specifically. Can't remember what they were, but he seemed to like it more than he didn't. Yeah, that's what I would expect. It's pretty unique and well crafted. I think a lot of people seeing this game initially are like, roguelike doesn't go with mystery that you're solving. And I think that's a real... that makes sense. Like, that's obvious in a way. If you just consider those 2 flavors, they don't go well together. But I think this actually does work. I think many people are annoyed by how slow you walk, including me. I think it's funny how... shift is actually labeled stroll. It's not labeled run. On the other hand, I think walking fast is not a big problem that Jonathan Blow has with games. I think that's more for me. No true statements. So this one must be it. I'm sure there are a lot of, you know, little things that you could find fault with here, as I'm sure I've done in the past. Okay. Could go bedroom, go back to the center. Gain 2 steps. That's not much. You have a strong feeling about run speeds. Yes, Corpus C. I think I often like to say they should hire me as a consultant for games. And I should tell them, make the run speed the walk speed, and then make the run speed now should be twice of the walk speed. Because I feel like a lot of games, especially like indie puzzle games that I play, they make me walk around, and I assume they think it's atmospheric, or perhaps it hides some sort of level load, but I'm like, listen, man, I want to get to the next part of the game. Like, I enjoyed walking through here once. I want to go faster. Oh yeah, the foundation. Yeah. I feel like maybe we take bedroom here. Bedroom, of course, has this interesting picture of a lady. Haven't deciphered. Also this Reddington, which is where we are, it turns out. And also this random gem. There we go. You must be pleased with Order of the Sinking Stars shift speed. Yeah, actually, I didn't have a big problem with how you walk in that game. I think it was very well tuned. In general, I think John's games are pretty well tuned for that. Although at some points in The Witness, you want to get from one part of the island to the other, and then you can either just run there or take the boat, and it's kind of the same actually. And it's like, well, that's not really helpful. It's kind of annoying when you're like, I've just realized what the solution to the puzzle is on the other side of the island, and then you realize it. Yeah. I guess it could be a problem. Well, they have that fast travel in Order of the Sinking Star, so there won't be a problem with like, oh, I need to get to the other part of the thing, but my run speed isn't high enough. I don't know. What about you? Are you pleased by running speeds, Corpus C? Ooh, I could get closet. Ooh, I could get kitchen. I could get pantry and close off this area. Closet does give me 2 items, so it's a bit of a weird one, but I think I'll get it. Oh, right, the dye. The ivory dye. It's not my favorite one. Probably better for speedrunning purposes. Alright. 2 items, but they're just commodity items. Can I? No. Right. Yeah, just you walk out, you walk back in. I do crack up every time I think about the fact that it labels the slightly fast walking speed that every other game would call like a run speed. They're like, it's a stroll speed. You can stroll in the manner. You know, the game was crafted with a lot of care. Kind of got annoyed with Braid and left it unfinished twice. Because once I figured out the puzzle, I didn't want to actually jump through the physics logistics to make it happen sometimes. Felt like I had to retry executing it precisely too often. Oh, man. Yeah. That was, when I played Braid, I thought it was, like, a hard game. But that's because, in retrospect, that's because I hadn't played very many games. So, it was trying to be easy for, like, an indie puzzle platformer with, like, it was trying to make it so that there were some things you couldn't do, but all the challenges it was trying to give you were not actually hard by the standard of platformers, especially indies at that time. And I really do like how at least you can just rewind and try it again. You don't have to restart the level. That would be unbearable. But I could certainly see, you know, sometimes I was like trying to make the jump and I was like, ah, why can't I make the jump? Dang. Ooh, I could get library here. Library is usually good. You can check out a book. I think there are still books I haven't checked out. I forgot about this room directory. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are still rooms I haven't unlocked. Of course. Some flavor text about it. That does make it a lot better, but it still felt annoying. Guess I'm not enough of a platform player. Yeah, I think if you were... like an adult in the indie scene when it came out, you'd be like, ah, no problem, barely an inconvenience. Unless you were too old of an adult, like Brian Moriarty, who I think, like, really had difficulty with Braid, perhaps due to not growing up with platformers. In the Anniversary Edition, I kept rewinding the first boss battle where you knock the chandeliers down on him. Isn't that good? Isn't that the solution to the first boss battle? Or like you were rewinding too much? This is some useless flavor text, but it is nice. That trains me to not want to look at all the flavor text. But anyway, Yeah. Yeah, I got the idea, but it felt like too much work to execute. I think I breezed through it in the OG braid. That's interesting, because I don't think they, like, changed anything. Because they need to have the seamless change between old and new graphics. Although I suppose they could have just moved stuff in the old graphics. Yeah, there's an incredible strategy in the chandelier room in the original braid where, like, I, ordinary gamer that I am, I was like, oh, I get it. I'll rewind like 5 seconds, and then and then I'll hit him again with the chandelier. But if you, like, put the chandelier right over him and then you just twitch rewind a couple of times, you can immediately kill him. That's pretty cool. I've seen that in speedruns. That did not occur to me. Even though now that I've seen it, I'm like, oh, that's completely logical because the chandelier is green. Yeah. Spoilers for Braid, I guess. Yeah. Oh, right. I was gonna say, like, if you compare it to Super Meat Boy, I tried playing Super Meat Boy, and that's like a precision platformer where the movement is the challenge, and I got past like World 1 of that, and I didn't enjoy it because it was too hard for me. My skills have progressed, probably. I probably could enjoy it more now, but I don't think it's any different, just a random out... Oh, wait, sorry, I'm doing the reading voice. That's bad. I'll hate myself later if I listen to the VOD. Corpus C says, I don't think it's any different, just a random outcome, and I don't like that randomness. I was looking more for a puzzle game, and it seemed irrelevant too often. Ah, yes. Well, you know, it is kind of about the nature of time, as our former Vice President Kamala Harris would have said. And there are many things in Braid that kind of annoyed me, that I give a little bit more slack because I realized it was exploring the nature of time on the micro scale and the macro scale a little bit. So, like, if you're gonna marry those two things together, it's kind of hard to do it and then tune it for everybody. But I certainly, you know, I understand your perspective. I relate more to you than I would relate to someone who was like, Braid was just too easy. It wasn't platforming enough. I'd go, ah, you fool. That wasn't the point of Braid at all. Point of Braid was the puzzles. Okay, now I'm in the library. I need to actually, like... Bookshop is only draftable from the library? That's crazy. I'm looking through my notes about this library, because I want to see which book I haven't checked out. There's Swimbird, who's, like, by my mother or something. I suppose witches is the correct contraction there, because it's not possessive. The Fixed Stars, which I believe is also available in the astronomy room and is not even useful at all. I didn't make a note about this. It's crazy. Pump system. I mean, I already solved the pump puzzle, I think. I don't... Do I need any of these books? I feel like I didn't get all the books. By the time I played this last time. There must be... I don't have a note for the library room. That's crazy. I think this one gets the redacted history of Orindia, and then you can buy the less redacted version in the bookshop. I'm sort of playing type help in Notepad now. It's crazy. Drafting. I have a drafting room here. Drafting strategy. Volume 2. Have I gotten every library book? It seems really difficult for me to check at this point. I think I've definitely made my way through everything. I think I've definitely made my way through the fixed stars. I wonder if there's an achievement for reading every book. I guess I wouldn't have gotten it because I haven't bought everything in the bookstore yet either. What even is the name of the astronomy room? I'm just gonna call it the astronomy room, which I'm sure will come back to bite me. Going from the other direction. Checking out. Just like in real life, you want the good books, you have to go buy them. Name the kitchen the gastronomy room. That's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah. I'm trying so hard to also riff with you. I can't think of any other words that rhyme with astronomy. I was gonna say, like, you know, name the freezer the anatomy room on account of the meats. That's nothing. Name the bedroom the anatomy room. That's a little vulgar. I don't know about that. This is poorly aliased. I still like it though. It's a good picture. Maybe it's supposed to appear like a woodcut print. That doesn't seem right. I can't do anything about that. It's probably a pretty tough rhyme. You know, I respect a man who can make a good rhyme. In a way, all of the rooms are the autonomy room because they can go wherever you put them. I see. Inheritance now has a little note by here. Longest day, average day, total days, total time. Steps taken to keep through this. These are just useless. These are uninteresting to me. Not bad. Thank you. Yeah. I'm just chasing that glory of the gastronomy room. Which is literally just one letter on top of astronomy, so it's sort of a perfect rhyme. I think occasionally there's something that in these sorts of records that is interesting to me, but not really. Like these puzzle records, they also show up in the main room now because I need to solve a certain number of parlors to you can see I have a perfect record of solving parlors because because of my training in formal logic, which is mainly about pondering if all Cretians are liars and so forth. It's crazy that the billiards... Oh, this must be like... Yeah, the dartboards are in the billiards room, so I've solved every dartboard I've come across. I've even unlocked harder dartboards. I guess I haven't unlocked harder parlors? I don't know. People keep telling me, like, it evolves. And I keep thinking, I don't know, man. It was pretty easy. Little trophy emoji. Yes, you've earned that trophy emoji. I mean, what even are we gonna do? Like, gastronomy, mastronomy... there's nothing. Unlock the sandwich room. Call that the pastronomy room. You know, there's nothing like that in the game. Oh, the upgrade discs. Yes, I remember. There was one room where I grabbed the upgrade disc, and then my day ended, and I'm like, I hope the breakfast room still has that upgrade disc I never cashed in. I see you're laughing about pastronomy room. I'm glad. I'm glad. I aim to please. Bunch of books in here. Love a room with a lot of books. Mount Holly scrapbook. Ah, yes. My first claim ticket. This was completely useless to me in the game. Like, I just locked a useful item in the claim room for a couple of runs. It was really counterproductive. Here's some random photos I found. November 5 is the day when the game begins, which actually becomes relevant. If you can believe it. Top 3 checked items. Shovel. Love my shovel. Treasure map. I guess that's not useful anymore, I think. It just kind of gives me gems now. Keycard. Keycard is always great. Oh yeah, tomb. Tomb. Apparently, I've always taken tomb. I guess it's good. I think it unlocks, like, metagame stuff. What the hell is a courtyard? I never thought about that. That's not a courtyard. Oh, it's a corridor yard. Of course. Yes, it's two. Yeah. Yeah. And I like it because you can, like, dig for stuff. It's got plenty of doors. I've spent the most time in the entrance hall. It's very funny. There's nothing in there except for, like, the letters. My contraptions, very sparse. Because you need to get the items, and then you need to go to the room, and then you need to, like, combine things that combine together, and then, like, they often aren't even really helpful for whatever you're trying to do. Here are the stamps. Yeah. You can use the magnifying glass to check out details on the stamps. I've already taken notes about all of them. Chronograph was in the showroom. I forget what that does. There's Holly. Are we on Mount Holly? Is that where we are? I appreciate yeah. You go to the Mount Holly gift shop. That's one of the places you go. I appreciate how this game sort of, like, one of the things about it is that you play the game and then you're like, I'm just in a manor somewhere in England. And then you keep playing it, and then as you get to larger and larger parts of the game, you're like, where am I? What country is this? What is going on? What year is it? That's kind of neat, you know? That's kind of cool. Didn't expect that one. Really thought I was in England for most of this game, especially given the names of every character. But maybe one day. I've been in the laundry room. Why did you write that in there? Highest grade 1. That's fun. The classroom is like one of my goals is you need to get through everything in the classroom. I think you just need to keep drafting classroom. And then over the course of playing the game. I see you've said England. Are the people's teeth really bad? You know, nobody I don't think there's been a single tooth animated in this game so far. Because everybody's mouths are closed in their old style photographs and paintings. And nobody's like animated talking because that would up the budget extremely. Presumably, I don't really know anything about it. That's just my guess. But the people do kind of talk with British accents, as far as I remember. Okay, so we have a choice here. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they don't have teeth. Maybe that's the mystery of the blueprints. So I could unlock the freezer, which will allow me to like end the game and keep my stuff, and then I can increment that stuff next run, which could be useful. My run has not gotten very far. There's the trophy room, which would give me like an immediate profit in 3 gems. Or there's the bookshop, which is... It is very good if I can afford any of the books in there, which I'm not really sure about. But it would... Oh my god, oh no. They all immediately end the game. Yes, I remember this rule now. Because they all like loop back into the entrance hall, which means I would have no doorways left. So I think I have to redraw the plans. I mean, the freezer is also just a dead end. Although I could just restart it, you know? It's a strong contender. I kind of feel like that's the smart move at this point. Because I'm no longer going for like fast solve. I'm just... Oh yeah, there's this whole funny thing where like you can thaw out the freezer room if you do the correct steps. I think I've already done that. I don't think there's a reason to again. Oh look, there are the drawings. That's cool. So I think I restart. I suppose I could go over to my favorite, you know, favorite little alcove here that I unlocked. Yeah. You have me thinking about what's the narrative like in this game. And it really is, it does immerse you in the narrative. There's no, like, the main character is not making any comments, but you can become the man who comments upon it in your own mind. You can say, "Oh, I'm Simon P. Jones. I'm here to check out my inheritance," you know? Shouldn't I take this? Here's lockpicks. That doesn't help me. Because I've gotten rid of all the doors. And yes, there's the shovel, which still doesn't help me. Because I've gotten rid of all the places where dirt might spawn. Piles of dirt. I guess I can just become reacquainted with the grounds, you know? The blue prince might make a lot more sense if he was found in the freezer. That's true, because he would be cold like a cartoon character. Colon nod, colon. Yes. So true. So true. Yeah. This overworld is like nice. I guess there's a deliberate choice where there's not actually that much to do here. In the sense that, you know, you can't like dig up any dirt here or anything. This looks like there are no, those are just rocks. Never mind. There is stuff to do over in like this area if you ever unlock it. Did I unlock it? Is it still unlocked, or do I have to like light all the torches to make it go? Yeah, okay, it's still unlocked. That's fine. We'll just, because I froze everything, we'll just spend the remainder of the day looking around at the overworlds. You can go there. That's where this elevator goes, I think. Yeah, let's check out this place. This little, I don't even know what it's supposed to be in game. Like a garage, like a delivery area. This is where I went the first time. Because as an advanced gamer, I said, I'm not going in. Going to the other end. And now I'm like, well, there's nothing in there. See, in the outside, in the inside, I really think the stroll speed is tolerable because you're in rooms, and they're like scoped to human perambulation. But in the outside, I do start thinking like, geez. Is that ice in the upper right HUD? Yes, that's because I went into the freezer, and the effect of the freezer is that it freezes your gems and coins, which allows you to preserve them for the next day. And so since I had turned a profit, I thought, oh, I'll keep those for the next day, and then I'll have a little extra the next day. So this run is pretty much a bust, but I'm saving up for the next run, and that ice thaws when you go to bed or pass away. This assay is numbered. I don't know if that's useful. I think I took a screenshot. I forget what the hotkey is to take a screenshot in Steam. Oh, Steam doesn't bring my recordings and screenshots along, so those are all on my other computer. Okay, well. I wonder how I categorize this. Not under mine. What about under assay? No. Tunnel, maybe? The precipice. One of the mysterious arched tunnels. Yeah. This has got to be it. Right. I'll write down the assay number. Assay 520. Man, there's a lot I would write down here, like Scripts and Redford Mining Company. I'll just write down the date for now. Scripts and Redford Mining Company. Foreman's log 3. That reminds me to buy some metal ice cubes, says Corpus C. Yes, metal. That's good for drinks you don't want to water down. I know that. I know that well enough. I've never really felt a problem myself with that. It waters down the drink a little bit. By the time I drink the drink, it's fine. Maybe a little water helps, even. I don't know. What are you using metal ice cubes for? As our client, Thomas Sinclair. Is this guy's name Thomas? Or is that his father? No, his name was H.S. Sinclair. Also, this is not Thomas, but rather Tomas. Tomas is not a British name, which, you know, confusing. Corpusy says, I don't mind that. I just hate refilling ice trays. Also, scooping, crackling the cubes out of it. I kind of like, you know, I kind of like when you twist the ice cube and everything cracks and you're like, yeah, that's how ice works. Yeah. They do make like silicon ones that are easier to push out, I think is the idea there. It makes sense. Makes sense. Metal ice cubes, yeah. You could get some cool patterns on that. You could get dice, maybe? Food safe dice? That'll be a fun continuation of your drinks. Dice game. As our client, Tomas Sinclair, suspected, the arches that were visible from the south cliff, I think that's where I am, I'm not sure, part of a much longer arcade carved into the rock face. Last week when our crew first arrived, only 2 supporting pillars were visible, but after only a few days of cleaning finds, limited to superficial, ended abruptly, soil, rock, and debris, right. Now there's wood blocking some of them, which I, as a silly baby boy with no crowbar, cannot get into. Much older than first assumed, or someone deliberately had these chambers buried. Corpus C says, if only they'd just fall out after one twist. Mine have never. Maybe I should try the silicon ones. Never knew of them. Yeah, I've only used them myself for ones that they're like curved in a way so they're supposed to go into the neck of a water bottle, which I suppose makes them like harder to extract. But you should try twisting, you know, probably know how to twist an ice tray, but you like twist one end of it in one direction and one end of it in another direction. It just makes a super satisfying crack. And then that makes some space and you can like pull them out using your fingertips. It's very good. It's very good. One of the peak human experiences. Right there. Why did this guy typewrite his foreman's log report? Truly, we may never know. Here's, yeah, you can see the thing. There's the mountain that's in all the art. You never get to go into town. You learn about what's in the town. I don't think I've been over there. Unless it's the game area, ending area, and I've forgotten. This is sort of where, you know, the game becomes end game content. This is a highly suspicious crack. Let me see myself in the water. No. Yeah! Yeah! I have notes about this chess puzzle. Rules unclear. Per the study, maybe queen is on closest square. Chess hypothesis. No, the pieces are just set dressing and correspond to rooms. Okay. Yes. The study tells us that the entrance is black queen. G gold is probably white. I don't know why the study tells us this. And I also... I don't know, like, is there a unique, like, all these pieces have to be set so that none of them attack each other or something? I don't know. Maybe all of them have to attack each other? Or be attacked by another piece? Seems a little bit too... Whoa! What? Oh. Well, that's new. Let me make a note of that. Oh, yeah, there's a sledgehammer in the game, so there's the wall that looks weak. I'm like, maybe you could sledgehammer it. There's also a sealed door that I thought went to the basement, but now I'm not thinking it does. Pawn on rightmost 2 or 3 lights up. That's very interesting. Also, first left 2. Surely this can't be the intended solution. There's got to be like a... Does it stay lit up if I remove all the other pieces? Like if I were to just... Oh. Also, first right 1. Interesting. Am I the pawn? My middle initial is P. Is the pawn like telling me something? Like good squares? I can't even view my tab view. But also, like, the queen doesn't light up the first square, even though, according to my hypothesis, it has to go there eventually. Because of something I find in the study? I'm not really clear what that was from my old... That's crazy. How did I discover things like WP going somewhere? I don't know. I've noted these notes as spurious here. So I guess I shouldn't trust them. I'm a real memento of a man. That does look like I should sledgehammer it. I guess getting the tool shed was pretty good. Because if I had gotten a sledgehammer, I could have instantly validated that hypothesis. There might be dirt around here that I could dig. Am I rereading all the text? The answer is no. But I made notes to myself. I also took screenshots of the texts on my old computer, so I could have reread it, but I just have like a notepad document of notes that I copied onto my new computer, moved it, and So there is a little bit of text there. This is some stuff that tells you how to read sigils, and it's like incomplete for puzzle reasons. But I'm pretty sure I already deciphered it, and I'll know when I encounter another sigil that I have to go back and look at my notes for. Playing video games has really taught me a lot about how much I actually remember about returning to some endeavor, and the value of notes. Are your notes typical code comment style? I think so. I think that's kind of a joke, but I think so in that when people write comments in software, unless they're trying hard not to do this, they typically write like broken little phrases, and that's how I wrote my notes. Little phrases that don't necessarily work together graphically. Are you a non-game programmer? I know you don't want to make games. I've done some programming in my day, you know? I did originally want to make games. And then I said, oh, wait, that's a lot of effort. And now, I don't even know if the Blueprints guy programmed anything. I don't know. Maybe the tools are good enough that you just have to, like, design the game. Here's a bench. Here's some stuff that lights up. If you light it up, but we don't have to do that right now. So here's a suspicious bird bath. Did he say something about using visual node scripting? I watched a short little interview with him. You know, I haven't watched any interviews with this fella who made Blueprints. I've only watched like his trailer. I believe that's the guy who made Blueprints, and I've heard various things he said about it. I'm just speculating that, you know, maybe you don't have to program. Maybe you do just use visual scripting. Blueprints, if you will. He has an interesting look, not what I expected. Yeah, I would maybe agree, except I think I saw him during my initial, like during that trailer was the first thing I saw, if that's the fella. So I kind of like, that's exactly what I expect from him. And having played Blueprints, which is a game kind of unlike any other that I've ever played, I now think, well, that's the kind of guy who makes Blueprints. That's what he looks like. That's how he dresses. That's you can admire his cranium to make frenetic judgments about him. Oh yeah, this thing. I don't think it's worth turning this dial. Would it even do anything? Oh, it turns one of them off. Let's keep them on. As a gamer, I love it when things continue to be on. Yeah, I think maybe I need the pickaxe for these. I guess he does look like a Blueprints developing kind of guy. Yeah! I was thinking about this. I don't want to be, like, mean to the guy, but I felt like he both looked like a cool guy, but also a man who had dedicated years of his life to developing this game at the expense of maybe some other things in his life. You know, so I'm glad it worked out well for him. But you're right. Interviews should include more skull measurements. That's what I'm saying. How are we gonna use the immortal science of phrenology, the immortal quack science of phrenology, if they won't give us the skull measurements? We just have to start measuring the screen next to reference objects like animals, you know? Like in the taller Luke theory. I almost said craniology. Ah, yes. Yes. Why not? Why not? Of course, I say phrenology as a joke. Really, you should be using the immortal art of physiognomy, where you just look at his face shape to figure out what kind of things he'll do. That got way easier once people started wearing glasses. Then from glasses, you can deduce that, I don't know, they spent a lot of time inside as a lad dedicated to their studies. Limit excavation to 2 stones per day. I don't know. Can it cave in on you? Or I think there are just there are 2 gems in here, maybe. Oh yeah, the old minecart in the old tunnel. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, down in the reservoir. I don't think I have easy access to down there, even though I was thinking that would like unlock permanently, but actually you still have to finagle your way down there. Actually, I accidentally got that right. Craniology. Craniology. Noun, historical, the scientific study of the shape and size of the skulls of different human races. Another term for phrenology. I was just making it up. Yeah, you know, people be saying words. People be saying words. People be forming new words out of old word parts. Very true. I mean, why not? If you're inventing phrenology, why not name it after the cranium? Two other ways into the site from that side, but I think we're going to leave that for someone else to finish up if the old man really wants it done. Fair enough. Those are like hints. Yes. Light bulb. Maybe I should measure my own skull. Yeah, I don't know. You could get really into phrenology, and you could go like, it all makes sense. Not only am I a Gemini, my occipital lobe is also small. This explains everything about myself. Alright, so this is where you go when you want to go to sleep, in your little tent. You could even measure your corpus callosum. I see you've posted a thumbs up emoji. Very good. Yeah. That was a secret, that dirt there. This little area was a secret at one point, I'm pretty sure. Man. I stopped playing this game for good reasons of life scheduling, but it really is, it's hard to get back into it. Frightening, frightening. Such is the nature of time. I don't remember how you get down there. Is it... Can you not even? Curious. It's funny. I've had a number of women point out they have larger corpus callosums, but I didn't want to get into a CC measuring contest. So then I whipped out my dick instead. They had nothing on me. That'll show him. That'll show him, Corpus. You know, you gotta hit him with the second brain. You know what I'm saying? Who's out there saying they have a bigger corpus colossum? Nobody, you silly Billy. Oh yeah, this whole thing, yeah, we can interact with this. Laughing emoji, yes, very, quite. Keep having to read that out because I have no fancy technology to put your comments on screen. We'll do it like they did in ancient days. Oh yeah, the sundial, yeah. That's true though, it wasn't a setup for a joke. I just improvised that part afterwards. Parentheses, the part that women pointed out, theirs are larger. That's crazy. How did they even know that? And that it wasn't just like their skull? Maybe they just have a thick skull. Maybe they're just full of amniotic fluid, you know? Unless you went to medical school or something. I think at some point I tried to come back to this sundial at the time indicated by the sundial. Or corresponding to the clock. And it didn't work. I'm sure I made a note. There is a sundial. Maybe it doesn't update in real time. If we assume it's a clock face, we may have to come back here at 2:10 or something. I did and nothing happened. You have to... I guess the sundial models the clock, or the clock face models the sundial, so like 2:10 is the time you would come back. Oh, you can go back around here. This is nothing. Wow. Is this anything? You can't really crouch. You can like see the stool. Okay. I never did any research on it, but maybe I will now. I assumed they just meant it was a greater percent of their skull size, and I didn't doubt them. Well, you know, you gotta be skeptical about people asserting things about their corpy colossi. That might not be how you conjugate that, or decline it, or pluralize it, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't rule it out. I was being playful myself. Maybe you can just eyeball it. Yes, I have here in my notes that there's a discarded gem holder, like from the safes. Yeah, and then there's like this book here. Not super exciting. There is a way to access the inner Garth, which is a place I've been trying to get to. I do respect how you can't crouch at all, because like they don't want to make assets look everything. It's cute though. Yes! Love a girl who can measure brain size with her eyes. Or maybe you were talking about this book. I don't know. Hard to tell in real time, but kind of think maybe not. Robert Nogula. That seems like an acronym for something. This is some kind of Twitch emoji. It'll probably tell me its name if I click on it. It doesn't want to. Ah, well. Some sort of a smiling Twitch chat speech bubble. Very good. Among my many commissioned duties, I have been tasked with conservation and oversight of Mount Holly's alluring grounds. My domain stretches from gate to gate and encompasses the apple orchard, entrance drive, and east yard. Fortunately for my workload, the maintenance of the west grounds has not been a priority since Lady Epson's death and the ensuing closure of the west wing. Ah, yes. Right. See, this guy references, like, that certain rooms are only draftable on the perimeter, which is a game mechanic, so, like, he knows. Yeah. Here's this smudge pot stuff. I'm gonna turn them on. For what it's worth, the point of my handle is that I can do programming and art, although I almost never do any art since coding is more important and both are time-consuming. Based on the idea that the two hemispheres focus on either art or logic, which I've heard is just a myth. Ah, yes. That makes sense. That makes sense. I guess it is probably just a myth. I mean, it seems like a myth to me. But it certainly is a well-known metaphor. At least. And there might be something to it. Although, you know, people get Phineas Gaged all the time. And then, they don't really, like, lose the ability to draw. They lose crazy other things. That might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's how we learned about it in the first place. People kept getting Phineas Gaged on the right side, and then they lost the ability to do logic, but they could still draw, and vice versa. Oh yeah, this is how I learned about... Yeah, so this guy doesn't know how to get into the Garth. I opened up a tab on that guy. Never heard of that before. That / him. Yeah, Phineas Gage, famous figure in getting something wrong with your brain, which they, you know, they were examining the hell out of that guy because, like, opportunity like that doesn't come along every day, and you shouldn't cause any more of them. So, like, your contributions to science will be, you know, appreciated. Of course, they're now all dead. So, who's the real Phineas Gage? Is he the one that seems to operate normally with only 10% of his brain functional? No. That's a different guy. But Phineas Gage was a guy who, like, a railway spike was driven through his head in a sort of industrial accident. And, like, but he still was mostly normal. He did not immediately die. And everyone was like, that's crazy. We thought he would just die. But he like lost the ability to like keep track of the value of money and stuff. Many funny little problems that he had, and basically like I guess like a psychologist just like took him in, just like kept examining his behaviors. So this place really looks like you can go down here. And I thought at one point you can unlock a car, and I thought you would be able to go out here, but I kind of just think this is set dressing at this point. Oh, actually, I think I did hear about him, or basically the same thing happening, but I'll read about it further. Alright. Let me know what you find out. Oh yeah, the big well, right. This is one way to get down to that place. You have to drain it in the pump room. The pump. Yeah. I remember unlocking the car and thinking, ah, perfect. Now I can drive out. Now I have the fast car from the Tracy Chapman song. I can drive to the city and meet a colorful cast of characters. But no, it just kind of doesn't do anything. You can open up the car. You can open up the garage, but you can't drive. That doesn't do anything. Oh, you can call it a day from the menu here. I don't remember what the stars do. Oh, right, that's for the astronomy room. I see, you've posted music emojis and a guitar emoji because of Tracy Chapman's fast car. Very astute, very astute. Yeah, this is a nice scenery, you know? You only examine it every once in a while, but it's nice. I think next day, I'm going to end this day early. I'm also going to end this day early. Tomorrow. I don't know, it shouldn't really be telling me this because it's after, like, I'm the Baron now. I don't need to do this. Oh. Also, you can't even do that. Anyway, I think I'll start this next day by going to the shed first, which will provision me better for the journey. And out of the game, I will also go to sleep earlier, but I can't go to sleep too early or it just won't work. You know? I don't think I achieved anything here. I was mostly getting reacquainted. Technically, I set up my next run better. This is a very nice... You know, I became well acquainted with this screen. But it's a very nice, like, zoom that then deposits you here. I think the correct strategy, since we're already in this room, is to pick up the allowance. I'll look over here, that's not important, but... Oh, there's a drafting strategy sweepstakes I didn't even know. Puzzle in room 8 on rank 8. What the heck is room 8? Haven't unlocked it. Alright, well. Anyway, sometimes you need that money in some of the things you can pick up in the shed, if memory serves. So, guess I'll do that. This is one of the things where the friction between the mystery and the roguelite come in. because I'd kind of like to go down into the basement, but you have to finagle your way in there. Okay, so I could get the trading post, which is items for trade. I could get special floor plans, now cost additional steps instead of gems, but I think that actually hurts me because I have more gems. Is this like a new game plus kind of run? Yes, in that I have completed the normal game, and this unlocks a couple of extra rooms. But there were mysteries in the base game that I never completed. Having a trading post inside your house would be like a nightmare. Twitch smiley emote. Well, there's the thing. It's actually outside of your house. You see that my house is over there, and this is a weird little shed that's built into a rock, like the hobbits do. So, like, you know, that's not so bad. So it's still a crazy place. Dynamite, a little too dangerous to pick up. That's weird to me. Like, what do you know, that's an exception also to when I said your character would never say stuff to you, but it's weird to me. Like, when are you gonna pick that up? If not now. I have no items to trade. That is true. It is a trading post. It's not like a store where you buy things. There is also there used to be just like a free-floating puzzle around here. I did solve it. It's not like a puzzle game puzzle. It's more like a little puzzle that you could do physically in real life. Oh, nice. Twitch emote, smiling face. Yeah, that's weird. And what fool brought it here? Well, listen. I think it would be good. I don't think dynamite is that dangerous at all. I think it's like famously a stable type of explosive, maybe. If I'm remembering my explosives correctly, which is questionable. Okay, what do I want? What do I want here? What do I want here? I think hallway is a good pick. Although, I guess that takes it out of my deck, so like maybe I shouldn't have done it. The key to this game... I have to take parlay again. One of the keys to this game is... Slight spoilers for strategy and blueprints, is you want to get the lower levels all filled out, because they give you resources that you can use in the higher levels, which start becoming locked and stuff. Give me a second. Which, you know. I still have more permanent additions. Oh! I see. The 2 is just automatically given to me. Right. Yep. I wonder if I placed this ever, or if it's just always there. All right, let's play a little puzzle. Yeah. So literal keys, yes. One of the, don't confuse it with this wind-up key. That's a completely different thing. But you can see up in the corner, there are keys, and when you get further into the house, like rooms will just randomly be locked, and they'll be like, you gotta have a key to open this. It's, you know, it's like a video game key. Very much unlike a regular key. But they're, you know, you have to consume them to open up doors. And that's part of the core gameplay loop. In the main part of the game, when you're trying to get to the antechamber and then room 46, you can see it's 5x9, so 46. You're like, where the heck is room 46? And it's not the outer room. You can see this guy has a big pawn here. It's very funny. these set dressing objects recur, which I must assume also saves budget, but it's also fun to see them recur and go like, oh yeah, this is consistently themed. Okay, the gems are in the black box. That could be true or false. I don't know. The gems are not in this box. That could be true or false. I don't know. The statements on the other two boxes are true. Okay, so if the statements on the other two boxes were true, that would mean the statement on this box was true, which is impossible given the rules. So the statement on this box must be false. So one of these other two statements is false. If this is true, then this would be true, which can't happen. So this has to be true and this has to be false. There we go. Easy as pie. Let's see what happens up here. Well, let's look out the window. Let's treat ourselves to a little window peek. You can see there's that one of the deity angel guys is out there. It's kind of a bad angle, actually. This is silly. I kind of want to save corridor for the higher levels, maybe. I don't know. I hate to always see the same. Well, let's go for closet. I could use items, especially if they're custom items and not just a gem. Oh, okay. Compass. It's not actually very good. I guess it will save me from getting dead-ended here. It's good when you're really playing the game. Let's try this. Guess let's go for the den, because we can, we can't. I remember I tried so hard to, like, you can see these clocks have a marking, and I tried so hard to get here when the hands of the clock would be at the marking. And that didn't do anything. I still don't even know what that is for. Is it worth getting the commissary? Probably, yeah. Oh, right. When I played this game, they were like, this minigame is going to come out later. I think I have to, like, turn on the power or something? I don't know. I kind of expected this to just work at this point. Probably forgetting something. This is weird because it never recurs. It's not even that useful. This is like false. This you can read through. It's weird that I haven't written down the terminal path. Oh, right, yeah. It's written in here in my notes. I guess this is technically a clue, like there used to be a punch clock, I suppose. Oh yeah, there are terminals which give you bonuses. Those are cool. I could get a magnifying glass. I could get a sledgehammer. I could get a sleeping mask. What does the sleeping mask even do? Upgrade bedrooms or something? I guess I should buy the sledgehammer due to my hunch that you can sledgehammer that wall. And then I might as well buy a magnifying glass as well. That that might have been a mistake. Maybe I should have saved up for the sleeping mask. At least we can like look at this again and go like, India, curious. It is funny how it loads. It does load a different bitmap underneath. So like it's physically impossible to just peer at it with your special eyes, I think. Observatory could be good. Does lead me back into the same place. Let's see, I have 18. Oh yeah, you don't have to click the bad ones. You don't have to click Draxus the Dead, even if you see it. Flowers is in quotes. Oh, there's nothing further to the book. So, right. I don't think there's anything special I have to do here. Is 15 Draxus the Dead? Or I instantly forgot. No, 15 is the sale. That's pretty good. I should have looked in this one before buying, you know? Flyer? There's a flyer? Curious. Oh. There's the flyer now. Here's the... Yeah, this is pointless. I think. The sale! Great deals ahoy! Everything up to 50% off. Commissary, kitchen, locksmith, and bookshop? Why, what a steal. Ooh, I could get the laboratory. Everything here goes nowhere, so I might as well, except for the laboratory, so I might as well get the laboratory, which also does me the solid of doing some stuff. I do technically need to like have the boiler room, and then I guess I need to figure out this pattern. And like, you can't just have the boiler room, like there are these pipes that need to line up through the doorways, and it's like a huge thing. I wonder if I've made a note of Cinca. Oh, yes. That's like the company that we own, I guess. Kimberly Thompson. Briefed on the way the doors work. They're so blasé about this, even though they didn't tell me about it. Right. That requires the magnifying glass, but I've already done it before. A lot of cool diagrams. Sure. Oh. Wait, hold on. Oh, this is a big... This is really something. It's so hard to draft the laboratory. That I hadn't cracked this one yet. You can use experiments in the lab to spike the radiation levels in the house, which unlocks all the doors. I'd hate to be the plumber or electrician for this house. Or maybe I'd love it. Yeah, you'd get to live a puzzle game every day of your life. And then you'd get to go like, oh, it's a honest living, mate, you know? It'd be great. It'd be a great time. Okay, I'm gonna make a note of the element chart. Keep hitting caps lock by mistake, apparently. So hydrogen is 3. Then charge crazy fees just for showing up. That's true. They can afford it. They're whimsical, rich people. You know? Iodine I is 8. Neon Ni is 12. What is this? S is S. What is S? Can't be silicon, right? That's Si. Is this iodine? Is it boron? No, this is boron. Boron carbon. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium? Boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen. Let me just do this the easy way, actually. Let me just element chart. Periodic table of elements. Interactive from NIH. Well, thank you. Oh, it's fluorine. Never mind. S is sulfur, right? That makes sense. So, I kind of don't get how sulfur can also be 2. I was thinking like, oh, this will this will easily create like maybe a message. Maybe it will say like, "Hello, nephew," you know. But now I'm thinking like, how the heck am, you know? If there are two, I don't even understand how I'm gonna send the pipes in any particular direction. Like in order. I'm gonna stop writing down the real element names. Alright, here's where iodine is. Or iodine, as it's sometimes called. This is Re, which is rhenium. So this could be all sorts of different things. You know? Like... This could correspond to like letters that you arrange into a message. It could correspond to like oh, Te is tellurium. I'm still looking at the chart. Maybe you'll find like a chemical recipe somewhere. And you'll have to put it together. I imagine tellurium is maybe like radioactive because of Teller and the atomic bomb. Maybe not though. Or maybe you just have to like make a certain number by adding them together. Maybe you'll find the real names that you had to look up out of game. What is this? EU6? Europium? Could even have to do with the chemical, like, numbers. Is this new? Why did I never see this or make a note about it, you know? Is this really PA? Yeah. Protactinum. Protactinium? Protactinium. Plutonium, god of death. Also money. Okay. I don't really understand quite what this means in terms of gameplay, but we'll see what happens. What do you... Oh. It goes to here. Do you need that wheel? No? Maybe? What? I don't know. Suddenly these notes start looking a lot more interesting, but... Actually, no, they still don't mean anything. I think. Anyway, we can use this terminal to, create an experiment. Bypass the security door. Don't remember how to do that. Is it important for a letter to be delivered to the mailroom? How many apples are we gonna get? I feel like the more letters you get delivered to the mailroom, the more like plot text you can uncover. So that'd be pretty good. Maybe I wait until I find an apple or a security door. Ah, yes. Do I even need any of these things? I don't know. Maybe a sledgehammer, I might need that again. Probably not, though. Alright, well, let's try to, maybe draft on here. Pantry would go up, that's not bad. Might have an apple in it, even. Yeah. We'll go for it. We'll start the experiment. You could even pause the experiment, which I don't think does anything, and I'm not really gonna take the time to make sure fits my assumptions. This has Russian writing on it. Ah, the money. I think I solved this at some point, algebraically. Experiment successful. I guess I really want the drafting studio. Like, the dark room isn't even useful for me anymore. But the drafting studio gives me more floor plans, which is good. Wait, can you click on these? Oh. Oh. Seems to have a desk, but I don't know what room this is. Turns out it's the study. So I can probably use the study. Is it 11? Yeah, okay. This is finicky. Oh my god. No, I guess that's not it. Hmm. I thought for sure this would be like November 5th. Put new art in the house. Maybe I'll try like... I guess you need to bring the magnifying glass here. So where am I keeping the safes? The safety room is unlocked using the current date. Which you can figure out. Boudoir. Let's try it. Nope. Here's a combination that it isn't. Right? I mean, surely there's like a clue in this room. No. Okay. Okay. So that, yes. This does unlock the study safe. I think that was an 8. Unlocks the model safe in the drafting room. Letter 5. Shift F5 maybe? There we go, F12. Old Mountain tunnels to the north. We'll go as far as we can by trolley until the rails give out. Wow. We'll proceed on foot until we reach the southern border. I've never been so excited. As excited. Nervous and heartbroken. I might never know if I've made the right decisions, but I made the one I felt my father would have nodded in approval at. I'm leaving a message for Simon here in the safe house. This unhallowed cavern that we have called home for the last year. Something should happen to me. Please guide him to this place. Try to show him what these lost days are all for. I guess that is the 8th. Again, it's revealed in there, so I'm not sure it makes sense, but I think it was like put new art up by Thursday, and then you could maybe figure out that Thursday was there. Game has been added in a future patch. Maybe something will power it on. I don't know what would power it on, though. Maybe I have to activate the power room? And talking about leaving a note for Simon in the safe house. Unhallowed cavern. It's interesting. It's specifically unhallowed, so it's not like the crypt, I guess. Foolishness and doctrine. Holding hands and throwing stones. Alright. Well, very good. Another mystery down. In my search for the blueprints. I guess this shows you that the continents are different. There's a big screen here. If I figure out how to turn the power back on, maybe I can do it. I think this is the very room I'm in, right? That's the thing. Ooh, is this gonna give me... Nope. Would be crazy for them to put a clue in here. That'd be kind of cool. I've just realized this text isn't justified, which, you know, that's crazy. Alright. Time to get to the point of this room, I think. I should think. Ooh. This looks so suspicious, right? Like as a clue. I don't know, man. Especially because I want to eat apples today. Do I... I already have a classroom. I guess I can just draft more classrooms. Or maybe you do need to draft like 8 classrooms in a row. You seeing a dove? Secret hallway. Secret shop. I kind of want Dovecoat, though. I also kind of would like Solarium. Okay, well, I definitely want this, I guess. And the fact that... Oh, it's a big gear. Right. Oh, battery pack. Right. Yeah, there's this whole thing. What if I discovered already? Because I don't think I want to make a jackhammer again. Compass plus battery pack, huh? Is a real thing? Electromagnet. Sure, let's go for it. Well, that's cool. Obviously, those don't go together. So, yeah. Oh, I guess I don't have me lucky charms or whatever, so... I also don't have a shovel. I also am not in the basement. I guess I do want to unlock this. You have a shovel for me? Ah, sweet. I guess one of the other keys is in the dirt. Hmm. Casino is always an intriguing room. Well, this was useless. Maybe I shouldn't have picked it up. Should have picked up the corridor, although it is always left unlocked, which is something. Storeroom or her ladyship's chambers. They're magically delicious, though, you say. Yep, true. I think I've been to her ladyship's chambers. It won't let me look at my directory. I don't think this is as good. Was as good of a pick as I necessarily could have taken. Although I do have a safe deposit box key, which I think if I unlock the like bank vault, lets me go into the bank. Right, this is some kind of symbol that means something. No, yeah, maybe she's from some country. Well, I guess we go, there are a lot of different things we could do. We could go north. If we hit the breaker box, do we get to turn on power and play the minigame? I guess this is the cabinet, and it's stuck to off always. This is like technically a puzzle that I don't think even gets me anything at this point. Yeah. Okay. I've made a note to myself reminding me not to do that. Oh, I can turn the keycard entry system off, actually. This is a facade. You can take away. Alright, I don't know if I want to go down necessarily. I think I do want the boiler room for the power. Oh yeah, you have to solve the boiler room puzzle every time. Alright, well, I'm gonna call it for the night. Thanks for accompanying me, Corpus Colossum. Wait a minute, do you have to, like, not save? Save blueprints in the middle of the day. NPGG. I think I have to just like sleep this. Dev explained that it was not possible to add save to the game. They added the functionality later. That's funny. I don't know. I think I just have to, like, put the computer to sleep. Hard disk technology too primitive. So true. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a shame that I like to have my Steam like amount of time I've played it number line up, but I guess that's just not gonna be the case because it's gonna be played for 12 hours. As I go to sleep, unless if I sleep it at all time, my whole computer at once, rather. How, you know, will Steam also sleep and therefore not track the time that I've played? I think I may have tried to sleep it before or something, and then it didn't really work, and it just like soft locked me or something. Okay, well, I've got to try it. The stream must end so I can go to sleep in real life. Goodbye.